Hi and welcome. My name is Tolan and I'm the co-founder of Productivity Meet. In this video, we're going to start our discussion on how to apply different security settings to your worksheet or to your workbook. And in this video, we'll specifically address the idea of locking and unlocking individual worksheets within a workbook. So with that, let's get started. Okay, so as is often the case, the majority of time we may be on the Home tab, but if you want to think about locking a worksheet or locking or unlocking a cell or locking a workbook, you may choose to then go to the idea of the Review tab. And on the Review tab, you go to the Changes group. And the first thing that we'll look at in this video is that of Protect Sheet. So if you click Protect Sheet, it's going to essentially give you different capabilities to prevent unwanted changes from your current worksheet, from specific users, or maybe even yourself. And we'll discuss kind of some of these changes as we go throughout the course and over the next few sections. But kind of the main takeaway here is we have this checkbox checked or marked, and it says protect the worksheet and the contents of the locked cells. Okay, that's great. Now, the second thing we'll look at is the idea of password protecting this specific sheet. And when I say this specific sheet, I mean that of quarterly sales compared to annual sales. And essentially, when we protect the sheet, we're going to allow individuals to do what? Select lock cells, select unlock cells. These are things that they will be able to do. So we're going to hit OK. And when we're able to do all of these individual items, even when the sheet is protected, there is going to be a certain set of actions that we can't do. And so we can select both locked and unlocked cells. We can format our cells. Let's say that we can't format our cells. Let's say that we can insert rows and maybe insert columns, but we're not going to give the user permission to delete columns or delete rows. So now that we've locked the sheet, it says Unprotect Sheet, so we know it's locked. If we wanted to select these cells and maybe change the font color, you'll notice that these choices are grayed out. Why are they grayed out? Because we don't have permission to do that for the unlocked and the locked cells. Well, what if we wanted to insert a column? If we wanted to insert a column, we could do that by right-clicking and going to Insert. But then if we wanted to delete that column, we don't have permission to do that. Okay, what about a row? If we wanted to insert a row here, I'm not sure why we'd want to insert a row there, but let's say we did. We click Insert, but when we go to delete it, we can't. And why can't we do that? It's because on the View tab, Review tab, actually, not the View tab, our sheet has been protected. So we click Unprotect, and now, because it's unprotected, we can go ahead and we can delete those rows that we created and those columns. Okay, so we've looked at Unprotected Sheet, and it will essentially allow us to do all of these things. Well, maybe we don't want anyone to be able to do anything when it's a locked sheet. So we'll make our lows, and you then can't actually click on any of your cells. You can't insert things. You can't sort. You can't do the majority of things that you would be able to do if it was not protected. So we click Unprotect, and that's fine. So now let's say that people can go ahead and select unlocked cells and format cells. These are things that maybe would be useful. So we can select this and we can go and we can format it so we can change the color, but we can't do things like insert columns or delete columns, or we can't insert rows or delete rows. We can't modify the actual cell. We can't actually change the number because the cell or chart has been protected in this sheet. So again, we would have to come here, either unprotect the sheet or change our permissions. Now, if you want to protect a sheet with a password, you can do that by typing the password. I'm going to type the password 123, press enter, and it's going to ask us to re-enter our password to proceed. So I type in that same password of 123. And now, when I try to go in and do something, it won't let me do that. So when you try to go unprotect a sheet, you're going to have to enter that password. In our case, it was 123. So that, in essence, is how you would go about protecting a sheet. You'll notice that when we have a sheet protected, it's protected with 123. We can't make modifications. However, on another worksheet, this worksheet is currently unprotected. we can modify things. So we can delete this. We can insert a column. We can delete a row or delete a column maybe. There's lots of individual things we can do. So I'm going to hit Control Z to undo that. And then I'm going to go back here. I'm going to go unprotect my sheet with password 123, and then maybe change this back to black just for consistency's sake. So in this video, we really just wanted to look at how you would protect a sheet. If you wanted to protect a sheet, you would go to Review and Protect Sheet. You could then choose which items were important, which individual items that users could do on a protected sheet. In this case, we said that they could select unlocked cells or locked cells. They could select unlocked cells. They could format cells, but they couldn't do things like insert rows or delete rows. We then looked at the idea of inserting a password and doing those individual things. If you wanted to unlock a sheet, you would come here and click, and if there was a password, you would have to input that password in order to unlock the sheet. In our next video, we're going to look at how to differentiate between locked and unlocked cells and then protect specific cells within a worksheet. So with that, join us in the next video and we'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.